So, hey guys, today we're taking a look at another legacy card. So, today we're taking a look at Fish and Bids. At the start of your main phase 1, bash one card from your hand. Your opponent can bash two cards from their hand, and if they do not, you apply this effect. Take two fish monsters from your deck and either banish both or send both to the graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except fish monsters. So, the restriction on this is pretty insane, but on the other hand, the effect is just, I would say, in general, pretty damn good. But let's see, let's think about this for a second. So immediately, this starts a chain at the start of main phase 1, so you can't do this later, so you have to like immediately do this. Because this is in main phase, this is pretty irrelevant to a lot of things, honestly. Next main thing is you banish one card from your hand, so this can be any card, so it doesn't fully matter. You can just banish, I guess, a useless card or a card that would be useful if it were to be banished. So I guess a goatee, for example, right? And that'd be fine. Then your opponent can respond by banishing two cards from their hand, and if they do not, you apply this effect. So you can, well, this happens on resolution of the effect. So you have the option of when this is resolving to either send both the fish monsters, in this case, whatever they would be, to, well, you'd send them to the graveyard or banish both. So since you do have the option to send both here, unfortunately, this can be ashed, which sucks. But there's only a 30% chance to get ashed on this, so that's not too terribly awful. If we're looking at Droll, Imperm, Effect Failure, the Dominus cards, none of those really do anything to Fish and Bids, but the terrible thing about this especially is going to be if you get ashed on this, I guess. And because like this card is actually a little bit weird, at the start of your main phase 1 is the only time where you can activate Fish and Bids. But if it didn't have that restriction, you might be noticing there's actually no hard once per turn on this. Not really sure if that matters, but yeah, it's just a little bit weird, I guess. Well, what targets do you even have for Fish and Bid? So noticeably, I guess you have the Send effect. So I'm not sure what you can do with a Send effect fully. And you are genuinely fish locked, so I'm not sure what you can do with Pure Fish outside of Goaty at this point, honestly. Like, maybe there's some Fish XYZ stuff you could do. Maybe. So, actually, there is Left Hand and Right Hand Shark. Let's see. Left Hand, Right Hand. When this card is normal, summoned, If this card is in your graveyard and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Okay, that's the effect of Right Hand. Now, what was the effect of Left again? If you control Right Hand Shark and this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. So you could definitely make a Fish Xyz with Left and Right Hand and send both of them to the graveyard. There are a few other targets like this, like Crystal Shark, I guess, that you could send. I'm not 100% sure on all of the cards you can send. The main thing is I'm not sure what type of monsters these guys are. Like Levice here is not a fish. This is a sea serpent. And then we have, I guess, like Bahamut Shark, I guess. This is a sea serpent also. So I'm not 100% certain on what you could make under this lock. I feel like this card was probably made for Goatee if I were to guess, right? So being able to banish two cards from your deck here. Well, let's see what this does for Goatee real quick, I guess. Since this is probably the deck I think that benefits off of this the most, being under a fish lock and banishing cards. That'll probably be the most useful. If you get Ash, you just go -2, so you only have 3 cards in hand after this, which is like terrible. And then your opponent's 4 cards. Yeah. I mean, 30% chance, so I think it's still favored for you whenever you resolve Fish and Bids, but it's not like as insane, for example, like Gold Sark, where Goldsark is insanely difficult to stop in comparison generically. So I don't think this really does anything, right? You can banish this card. During your opponent's turn, if this card is banished, you would special summon it. So banishing this on your own turn doesn't do anything. Keith. I mean, you can banish Keith, I think, but it's not doing anything for you, right? If this card is banished, you can banish one fish monster from your graveyard. Add this card to your hand. It says banish both or send both to the graveyard, so I don't think that does anything. How about you not? What happens when this is banished? Nothing. Exceep. Nope, nothing. I don't think a lot of these do anything when they're banished necessarily, but if you're activating this, this could be like a targeted banishing of 3 specific monsters that you might want. So we could banish like Shift from hand, and then we could banish Keith plus Paces pretty easily. Oh, I missed 6. What does this do? If this card is banished, you can banish one fish monster from your hand, graveyard, or face up field. Special summon this card. Nope. I don't know if this really works with this, because this has to be done at the start of main phase 1. So this is borderline the first action you have to take. So we wouldn't have anything in the graveyard to banish necessarily off of this. Well, actually, I guess if this is in the hand, we can banish this and then send 2 cards to the graveyard with fish and bits. Are you telling me this isn't even that good for Goatee? What's this card even good for? It's not even really that good for, like, Ancient Deep-Seeking Kaleakanth, because you would want to bring that back to make things that aren't fish. I'm pretty sure, right? Well, I mean, if we get some decent fish cards later, this could always still come up again anyways. Well, I don't really get fish and bits, but here's the card if you're interested, I guess. So, yeah, that's all I have for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.